Hi everybody, Stefan here from the Alittleolder channel, and today I want to show you part 2 of the Ukrainian 24-hour ration 2018 vintage. Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you liked the video. First, let's go to the breakfast, which is some apricots, some chocolates, some of the crackers that are actually sweet, and no honey or anything like we had in the evening ration that we checked out in part 1. So let's get at it and put the coffee, which is an instant coffee but one that is hard to shake. So we'll okay, that's not one of my favorite things because, as many of you know, I usually don't drink coffee, but when it's the only thing we have. And also let's right away start the heating process of our kasha. And right for breakfast you get buckwheat with beef. That's really nice. Honestly, I kind of gotten used to the heartier things at breakfast, like the British do with their beans in tomato sauce and things like that. It's really interesting. Here I'm only used to like a toast with some cheese, but nothing that can compare to this stuff. We put it here on the lower side, we will put it this side up. And now usually keep it a bit higher so that you see the markings if it's full or not. Yep, and again I hit it exactly with guessing because I don't see it well enough. The last time it worked great for 2 items, so I hope it will do this one well again. Oh, there is some slight heat coming off it. Well, let's just put it down slightly upwards and we'll see. First, I'd say let's check out the chocolate. I don't know why, but I want to have some chocolate now. There's really not a lot to see here. If you look at that, no branding or... Oh, but it's really soft, it's nice. Now the heater is kicking in. Yeah, we don't want it here. So for now we use a knife to keep it down. An open knife is always great to have around. Well, this chocolate, to come back to it, is pretty good. I've had much worse. I often have what is referred to cooked chocolate over here, which is the quality you cook with, but not the one you basically eat when you buy chocolate. This one is actually pretty good, and I'd say a notch above it. It's not like if you go in the store and buy some high quality chocolate, but it's also not the chocolate you'd buy for cooking purposes only. So it's perfectly reasonable chocolate to eat. And since we already wasted our American knife, let's use our Russian knife. And let's open these apricots. They're pretty easy to move and seem pretty nicely. Yeah, they are a pleasure to eat. Really juicy, really fresh. But you know, this ration has a shelf life of less than a year. Although this kasha, which is in this box, actually lasts till sometime in 2020, so way longer than the actual ration. But so far we were 2 for 2 with our morning stuff. I mean, the second part of this video will be much more exciting with the soup and the main dish. But since I don't know if in the main meal we have those again, let's check them out, because we already did so in part 1. They look like crackers, but yet when you kind of bite into them, they're a bit soft. Do you hear them crack? But when you bite them, they are kind of soft. I will eat a bit again and try to explain. Yeah, perfectly great crackers that are a bit soft, that you could eat with something on them. I rechecked the list and it really is all that there is. The lemon, the apple jelly, which we usually have, is in the lunch portion, so this is all we get. So we have to wait for our main meal, so I'll see you right now. Okay, we are ready. It's like 10 minutes later. I will first take a sip of the coffee while it's still at least somewhat warm. It's just a coffee with a bit of sugar, nothing else. Actually, and I said that in the first video too, it's not so bad. I don't know how they expect you to use this bag 5 times in one day, because it took me 3 days to get it dry. And with all the moisture, you can't use it right after at least the second time. So I'm not sure I'll use it for part 2 of this video. So here we have our kasha, and of course there's some cleanup to be done, but not too much. But this is hot as, well, you know, really hot. Let's see if we can get the tear notch open correctly, or if we need the assistance of a knife once again. Looks like it's knife time, but let's try on the other side. Okay, that's bullshit. But my American knife cuts through this like nothing, of course. And we have our kasha, and of course I'm using the same spoon right away. This is the one I know, because in the first part I had one with pork, which was for the first time. I never had pork porridge before, but this is the one I'm used to. Kasha, buckwheat and beef. But this too is much creamier, a lot more moisture than the dry Russian one. This one is a lot better, but I think we should add a little salt, at least to try it, because it was given with this breakfast ration after all. Ah, that was too much. Well, who gives it? Oh, salt does this a lot of good. But this is nothing special, you know how it is. This is some porridge with a bit of beef and a bit of oil, I think. I only know you can't get this at all here. Not in restaurants, not in specialty stores, nowhere at all. Because I've looked, and I've looked intensely. Okay, again, this is highest quality, this is fantastic food. This one had a really big piece of beef, that's fantastic. Okay, I'll see you right away, which will be for me tomorrow, and then we get on with the lunch portion, which has actually 2 meals. One is a soup, a very interesting one, and the other I don't know offhand now, but we'll see. Okay, and for our final meal we first have our beans with vegetables and chicken meat, as it says, and we'll put that in right away. So first let's get our heating pad ready, and once more we'll use the given piece of plastic, the little plastic bag, which I thought wouldn't last for one video. I really wonder how often these rations have been used in actual missions and in actual survival missions and so on, because I just wonder how easy to use some of this stuff is in the field. I mean, here it's easy at home, but I don't think you have the same luxury when you're in the field. Okay, once again I've hit it pretty nicely. A little bit more or less never hurt anyone. That's true for all ration heaters, unless you put like 3 times the amount you drown it, but otherwise a little bit more never hurt anyone. And it's beginning slightly, just a bit more, and I can let it be because I'm sure it will do nicely. And yes, indeed it will be. And secondly, I want to put in my quality, which I still think is a fantastic pun, and I wonder why I've never seen this before. And of course, now you can hear the heater. I mean, I love mic, but I'm not sure so if you hear the heater, but you can probably see it's doing its thing back here. But I just love that I never before in my life have come upon quality, or I don't remember it, because usually I can't even read stuff that big. I can read some stuff this small when it's really located next to each other, and here this is putting out a lot of steam and we have to kind of hold that back a bit because otherwise it'll ruin everything over here. So we put that in the quality, and this time we have something we never had before, which is the jelly from the apple jelly, which was not given for the breakfast. I mean, they were both labeled as dinners. This one and the one I ate in first part. In first part it also had some honey in it, and this one really seems the most like a real, well, dinner maybe, because it doesn't have coffee. So, and you wouldn't drink coffee at night for dinner, which makes the most sense to me. Okay, let's see what that is. So of the 3 packages of identical crackers, these one have by far been the hardest to bite on. And this is just the usual jelly-like apple flavored thing, but the flavor is not as strong, but it still tastes very nice. But you have to have good teeth for these crackers. Or you have some others left which are identical, but these one have just gone bad. And by bad I mean they are just hard and way too hard to eat. I will put a bunch of it directly on a spoon to give it a better taste test, because that cracker ruined everything. It looks like peach, but it's not peach. I know that this means vitamin, and I know that this means apple, and this probably means jelly or marmalade or something like that, but the taste isn't as strong as we are used to, which isn't a bad thing at all. Also, what we haven't tried so far are the moist napkins, which are an important part of the lunch package or of the meal package, and these ones seem nice. They feel nicely and moist. They have a nice flavor, a little bit lemony, but not too strong. I'll use them to get the rest of the jelly off here, because I still have the other 2 because I didn't use them. And now we've gone through everything except for these croutons that we also had in part 1 of the video series, and some people said that you'd use these to put in the soup, so I'll keep those for the last part of this ration when we actually eat the soup. Right now I'm making the beans. After that you'll see the soup. This will be the final piece of this big and fantastic so far ration. Okay, the heater is quiet now. That's usually a good sign, but before we'll go to that, I'll just put a little sugar in my tea. I will see later in the close-up if anything came out, because my eyes don't, well, my eyes see it, but my optical nerves are so damaged that it won't be transmitted to my brain. Again, this has become very liquid. This is a good sign when you have something with beans. And again, I think I won't even bother with trying the tear notches, because when you have a $400 knife, why not ruin it on metal? Oh yeah, that looks fantastic right away. I'm an expert at knowing when something looks fantastic, and this really does. And now we don't need our soup, but we need something to eat. So we need this here. With the soup I meant the croutons. Let's check it right away. It seems we got some white beans and some chicken, and this goes together really fantastically. The beans are very nicely done, not too much, not too little. And by that I mean not overcooked too much, but also not too firm, right where you want them. And obviously me leaving it in the heater until the heater made no more noises didn't ruin anything. Here we have a big piece of chicken I'm after. I want to check that out. This is a very different meal than I've had so far. I never had beans without tomato sauce, I think. Or with tuna, but not with chicken, and this is really interesting for me. And supposedly some vegetables are also in there, but I couldn't identify any. But the taste is great. I might use some more of my salt to get into that, but not all of it, because I wanna stay alert for the soup. I don't know how I'm gonna manage with the soup, because the amount of soup that's in there is almost the full amount of this pot, and I don't have any bigger. And I don't know with the stuff that's inside the soup if it's on top or the bottom, but we'll find something out. That's not your problem. But once again, this ration really proves to be fantastic. This was really worth the effort getting it here. And now let's check out the tea, the quality. I'll never get tired of that. It actually tastes really good. Like when you go to the truck stop and say, I want a tea with lemon, that's the tea they give you before you put the lemon in. So it's a very standardized kind of tea that I've known all my life, because I always drank tea. Okay, enough about my childhood. Now I will finish this and then we'll check out the soup. Okay, we are done with the beans and all the nice chicken. And now we're getting ready to make the soup. Okay, we have a pea soup with bone broth and pork, or of pork. Although I'm not sure how I'm gonna, maybe sideways? Yeah, we're gonna do this sideways. Yeah, here we can see we have enough water. Also, this one shouldn't take as much, as it's only liquid, which hopefully can get heated up easier. But it's half a kilo. They put this in a kilo amount, which means 1 pound, which means, well, I don't know how much this is in ounces, but it will be on the screen for you. Now we just wait and see if we hit the magic one last time with the last heater we have. Let's take a sip of the tea, which is, by the way, not a lot for this larger meal. That's my Well, we're at it. By the way, this thing is already working, but before I cut away and then cut back when it's finished, this is basically my only complaint, and I will say it at the end again, but you should have some cold beverages with such a ration. That's just crazy. Oh god, the soup is getting way bigger than it should be. I think I'll put the camera away while this explodes. Man, oh man. Okay, hopefully I'll see you again. Okay, this was also the last clean bowl I had, so I kind of took to a plate, one that's made for soups, and figure let's get it where it belongs. Okay, let's again try. No, okay, that doesn't. No, yeah, well, that actually works, but I don't know how the soup is laid out. I don't know how its properties are, and by that I mean how easy it is to get the important stuff out of there. Okay, we got it all out, and I can already see some pork. Can't see any peas. I don't know, is that a... what's that? That could be a potato. I don't see a lot of potatoes in Ukrainian or Russian meals. Very interesting. Again, this actually could be a potato though. Very nice, very hearty soup, but I don't think it's gonna sit too badly in my stomach. Now it's a bit after 10 at night, and I'll sit the next 3 or 4 hours editing this video. But I think after having finished the first lunch just an hour ago, I'll do fine with this one. Now let's check out some of the pork we have here. And also, as promised, I'll put some of the croutons in there, both kinds, since they are different, which wasn't obvious from the title. So let's check this one out. Okay, the light one, which I think is wheat, is very great with this soup. So basically I think if you eat the soup with the bag of those, you don't need anything more. But those are the ones that came with this meal. I didn't mix them up or anything. So now let's check out this one. This tastes basically if you let dark bread dry out very fast and then put it in a bag like they did here. So this is both great for a soup. With this we reach, without a great action sequence, we reach the end of this video and the end of this great Ukrainian 2018 ration. It is great overall. I think they should have given 2 or 3 bags to put the heating pads in, and of course a few cold beverages. That's always a point of contention with me. If you don't put enough cold beverages but put a bunch of tea and coffee in, I don't think people want this during the day. Put caffeine filled drinks in, but don't put so much of the hot stuff. But still, this was one of the best rations I ever had so far, and I've had quite a lot. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It will help the video a lot to be seen by more people, and if you want to wait for future videos and watch them when they come out, please subscribe to my channel. It will be greatly appreciated if you do. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. I'll answer each and every one of them. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye. Then the dry Russian one.